stepping out of a global agreement.
Today I will also declare a national energy emergency.
Our DC Bureau is live with the newest executive order, Understanding Maternal Health,
trying to alleviate some of those maternity deserts,
and why access to healthcare is more important now than ever before. Natural disasters strike the country.
These towns are going to experience a horrendous economic depression.
Why homeowners are facing the debt. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Paula Sirignano.
And I'm Valentina Gaspari. Today is Friday, January 24th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
It's the Alliance to Fight Global Warming, but now the U.S. is giving it the cold shoulder. President Trump signed more than 24 executive orders during his first day back in office, but one day in particular may have far-reaching effects of our climate.
Caplin News DC Bureau reporter Rafael Hernandez is live in Washington with more.
For the second time since he did it in 2017, Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement, a worldwide pact that aims to limit global warming. This move mirrors recent policies made by the Florida governor, who has put up his own fight against climate alarmism.
I'm immediately withdrawing from the unfair one-sided Paris Climate Accord ripoff.
The 47th president made good on his campaign promise, leaving the worldwide treaty that countries opt into to lower carbon emissions. To Trump, the agreement puts unneeded stress on the American economy. This decision comes as major wildfires continue to burn in Los Angeles, and an unusual winter storm brings record snowfall to the south, including the Florida Panhandle.
Today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Trump also signed an executive order supporting greater production of energy, which includes crude oil and natural gas, but appears to leave out renewable sources like wind and solar power. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis has voiced his own opposition to measures aimed at addressing climate change.
I think you should be more honest about what that would mean for people, taxing them to smithereens, stopping oil and gas, making people pay dramatically more for energy. We would collapse as a country.
In 2024, DeSantis signed legislation that stripped the term climate change from state law. That same year, the back-to-back hurricanes Helene and Milton cost the Sunshine State billions. In response to Trump's exit, European leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, stood by the agreement. United Nations climate chief Simon Steele said the door remains open for the U.S. to rejoin climate talks. Now, Trump has also promised to bring the cost of energy down for Americans, but hasn't yet shared any concrete steps to reach that goal. Reporting live from Washington, D.C., I'm Rafael Hernandez.
Blizzards in the east and fires in the west. With natural disasters becoming more frequent, homeowners across the U.S. face mounting challenges. Here's Caplin News reporter Carla Mendez from our D.C. Bureau with more on the story.
Good morning, Paula and Valentina. I'm at the Department of Commerce, home to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, where they reported that last year the U.S. experienced 27 climate disasters. Homeowners in high-risk areas not only deal with the damage left behind, but also skyrocketing insurance premiums and limited coverage options. Authorities estimate property losses in California could reach $35 billion, while the total economic loss could reach $275 billion. Meanwhile, insurers like State Farm have canceled over 70,000 policies in the state.
The largest companies walked out from the California state. I understand because the risk is high due to wildfires, the earthquakes. It's not a riskless area, let's say. So could be huge losses for insurers. Insurance is a profit-making business. We are here to make profits.
Experts say the impact reaches beyond individual homeowners and affects entire communities.
If people rebuild, they're rebuilding into basically a economic and a community desert, because there's no stores, there's no facilities, there's no services. These towns are going to experience a horrendous economic depression just because they really don't exist as they did before. It's not a matter of just rebuilding, it's literally recreating a community. And insurance can't pay for that.
While the climate disasters may be localized, the impact on insurance premiums are not.
When there is a risk somewhere, everybody is going to pay the price. And that includes people all over the country are going to be paying a little bit of the nuggets that it's going to cost the insurance industry in the Los Angeles area.
As concerns grow over disaster relief funding becoming a political tool, all eyes turn to President Trump's incoming administration for the future of natural disaster preparedness and recovery. House Speaker Mike Johnson has suggested requiring California to make certain changes before releasing any aid. Reporting for Caplin News from Washington, D.C., I'm Carla Mendez.
United Healthcare has a new CEO this morning after the murder of the prior one. The insurance company announced yesterday the incoming tenure of Tim Noel succeeding Brian Thompson. Noel began working for United Healthcare in 2007 and has previous experience heading the company's Medicare and retirement division. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione still faces murder and terror charges in Brian Thompson's killing and has since been pleaded not guilty.
Yesterday was Maternal Health Awareness Day. Experts call the maternal death rate in the U.S., quote, unacceptably high, as it's higher than that of any other high-income nation in the world.
As DC Bureau reporter Natalie Dominguez reports, many of those deaths are preventable and joins us live from Washington. Natalie?
With the 4th annual Maternal Health Awareness Day taking place this week, experts are calling the maternal death rate in the U.S. unacceptably high, as that rate is higher than any other developed nation in the world.
Although considered one of the most powerful countries on the globe, the U.S. remains weak in maternal health. For every 100,000 live births in 2022, there are about 22 maternal deaths, with Black women being the most affected. That death rate is more than double and sometimes triple those seen in most other high-income countries that year.
It's an ongoing concern, and we're doing lots of things to try to bring those numbers down and get us into a better space.
Dr. Sarah Sams with the American Academy of Family Physicians says many of the maternal deaths are preventable, some linked to chronic diseases like obesity, hypertension, and diabetes. She says establishing care early on in pregnancy is critical, but not everyone has easy access to that care.
Family physicians still provide maternity care in many areas, and especially in rural and underserved areas, kind of trying to alleviate some of those maternity deserts.
Sam says a healthy diet and exercise, not smoking, and avoiding alcohol and illicit drugs play a big role in a healthy pregnancy. And since many maternal deaths related to childbirth can happen up to a year after birth, she says postpartum care is critical too, especially if gestational diabetes or hypertension were present in pregnancy.
Many of these conditions are signs that you may be developing those as a long-term chronic problem.
Dr. Sam says another major concern after pregnancy is postpartum depression. Another reason why she says it's so important for people to continue to see their doctors after giving birth to be screened for mental health struggles. Reporting for Caplin News in Washington, D.C., Natalie Dominguez.
This morning, NASA Center visitors across the U.S. continue to honor fallen astronauts after its annual Day of Remembrance. In the Kennedy Space Center yesterday, a bell rung for each astronaut who died pursuing space exploration and discovery, specifically the crews of Apollo 1 and the Space Shuttles Challenger and Columbia. The event included a wreath-laying ceremony, and attendees were given flowers to pay tribute. Tal Ramon, son of Israeli astronaut Ilan Ramon, who was a member of the Columbia Space Shuttle, spoke during the ceremony. Other remarks included Kelvin Manning, Deputy Director of the Kennedy Space Center.
Every year we gather to pay tribute to the lives lost in the pursuit of exploration and knowledge. And I am reminded of this every time I come to work.
NASA's Day of Remembrance is traditionally held on the 4th Thursday of January each year, around the time when all 3 disasters happened.
The Miami Heat looks for a win for their first game without Jimmy Butler during his second suspension.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
The police academy, they've been taught how to escalate or de-escalate certain situations, but the important thing of it is that we want them to focus on their training.
A Florida university helps out their local police department with new technology. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
decline, our time to shine. Ha, ha, ha. They don't want it with us.
Miranda is on top again. Give it to Gary Sexton. Lawson Peel takes his first playoff win.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
New tech students at Florida Polytechnic University may have improved a device for their local police. Body cam technology has been essential in ensuring the safety of police officers and those that they encounter. However, time is often wasted during turning the body cam on, and for a police officer, 1 second makes all the difference.
Students at FPU have created a body cam that fixes this exact problem. WFTX reporter Rebecca Petit has more on the story.
When police officers are responding to a sudden situation, every second matters.
Since the police academy, they've been taught how to escalate or de-escalate certain situations, but the important thing of it is that we want them to focus on their training, focus on a successful outcome.
Lakeland officers now have a device helping them stay focused by turning their body cameras on without wasting time.
And the firearm itself is drawn, it manipulates the sensor and then sends the pulse or the signal, if you will, to activate body camera.
This bracket device is specially designed for Lakeland Police's new gun holsters. Lieutenant Frank Fitzgerald tells me it solves the problem that happened when the department upgraded its technology, firearms, and holsters.
The holster was so new that the vendor that we actually get our body-worn cameras through did not have brackets for our holsters. And so Florida Polytechnic was able to manufacture brackets.
This is a machine that these were made on.
Mechanical engineers at Florida Poly designed and manufactured 500 brackets using 3D printers.
Lets the switch turn on and then activates the body cams, the cameras in the cars, and then within a 200 feet range of this, it'll activate any body cams on any other officer in the area.
The partnership with the university and Lakeland Police emphasizing the department's commitment to transparency.
To have something that's actually out in the real world helping police officers, save lives and save their own lives is pretty cool.
Rebecca Petit, ABC Action News.
The Miami Heat's trip to Wisconsin ended with a loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. This was the first game without Jimmy Butler due to his second suspension. The team had the lead after the first quarter and lost their rhythm for the rest of the game. The final score was Heat 96, Milwaukee 125. The Heat will travel to New York to play the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow at 6 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There
are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Paula Sirignano.
And I'm Valentina Gaspari. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.